Hi everyone, and thanks so much for joining me for another process video. First up, I just wanted to say that I'm sorry I've been a little bit absent here on my YouTube channel over the last little while. I've been busy working on a class that I'll be launching with big picture classes later this year. And so I haven't had as much time to devote to creating process videos while I've been working on that. But I've completed all of the class content now and I'm super excited about it. And I'll let you know once I have a more firm date of when that will be launching so that you can check it out. But yeah, now I've finished all the material for that now, so I can get back to creating more process videos. So the layout that I'm creating today is for Felicity Jane, and I'm using the August Zoe kit. And I absolutely love this kit, especially the colours. They're so bright and vibrant and fun. I love the combination of aqua and pink and yellow together. I think it's so pretty. And there's a bit of a birthday theme running through this kit. Although there's still plenty of non-themed things in the kit as well if you don't want to use it to create birthday themed projects. And I've already created a traveller's notebook spread that was not birthday themed. And you can check that out on the Felicity Jane blog or on my Instagram account if you'd like to. But I really wanted to make use of all of the birthday themed embellishments in this kit. And so I went back through some birthday photos of my kids that I hadn't yet scrapped. And I found this one of my eldest daughter Abby on her 6th birthday. And I thought that the colours in it really matched perfectly with this kit. And so this was 7 years ago now. She just turned 13 last month. And I know it's so cliche to say, but the years really do fly by so fast when you have kids. This feels like it was just yesterday. And she's gone from being this cute little kinder kid to now being a high schooler. And I just don't know how that happened. But I am really enjoying the age that she's at the moment, and I'm trying to embrace the here and now, even if I am a little bit sad that she's growing up so quickly. So back to the layout, the first thing I did was cut the word 6 out of my white cardstock background using my Silhouette Cameo. And I used the Impact font in uppercase for that word. And after I cut it out, I decided that I wanted to give it an outline to help it stand out a little more. So in my Silhouette Studio, I added an offset to the word, and then instead of cutting it with the blade, I put a black sketch pen into my Cameo, and so then it drew that black outline around the word. And I just really like the extra definition that this gives it. So as you can see, what I've been doing is just going through some of the pattern papers in the kit, and I'm trying to decide which one I want to back the cut file with and which one I want to mat the layout with. And I know that I definitely want to use that bold stripe patterned paper behind the cut file because I really like how that looks. But I wasn't too sure whether I wanted the pink and aqua showing through or the pink and yellow. And I just wanted to keep this part of my process in the video, showing you how I played around with the papers, trying to decide which ones I wanted to use. Because I think sometimes it's good to see that things don't always just fall into place. Sometimes it does take a bit of shuffling things around until you find what you like. And so I do end up settling on how I have it now with the pink and yellow stripes behind the cut file. And I'm going to match the layout with that yellow spotty paper and my photo with that pink solid colour paper from the kit. And the funny thing is that I originally chose to use this photo with this kit because the colour of the cake in the photo matched the aqua colour in the kit perfectly, but I end up steering towards just using the pinks and yellows in the kit rather than the aqua. And that's totally fine with me. You know, sometimes the way you envision a layout is going to look isn't the way it turns out in the end. But I think that's just all part of the creative process, and sometimes a layout just goes in a different direction to what you originally planned, but that's all part of the fun, and I do love how this layout ends up looking. So as you can see, I completed my title using the black puffy alphabet stickers from the kit, and I've just popped those onto some baking paper just so that I can move them around until I decide exactly where I want them to be, because I wasn't sure if I wanted them centered under the word 6 or over to the right hand side more. So that way I can just move them around on the baking paper until I'm happy with the placement, and then I'll stick them down. So then I wanted to add some layers behind my photo. So I popped a 5-inch doily from my stash underneath the photo, and I've pulled out the die cuts and acetate shapes from the kit, and I really love both of these. There's so many fun embellishments that you can use on your projects. And so I tucked a black scallop die cut underneath the left hand side of the photo and a pink acetate tab under the right hand side of the photo. So next I wanted to create a fun banner up in the top right hand corner of the layout, and I've used a combination of the die cuts and acetate pieces, and I've just layered them there randomly, and they're all different shapes and sizes, but I really love how that looks. And then I'm popping those two cute little acetate bows on each end of the banner, and I really love how this really finishes the banner off nicely. So I've come back to the photo area now, and I just want to stick down those bits and pieces that I'm layering behind the photo because I'm happy with how that looks and I don't want anything to move around. And I'm going to add some strips of foam tape underneath the photo just to lift it up and give it some extra dimension. So now I want to stick down those bits and pieces in the banner. So I'm just adding a little bit of liquid glue underneath each piece, and then I'm going to run it through my sewing machine just to add some extra texture to finish it off nicely. So I don't want to add too much glue, just enough to hold it in place while I run it through my sewing machine. So there you can see the stitching, and I think that looks really cool. And then I'm going to use my tiny attacher to staple those acetate bows to the page. And I find that for me this does seem to be the best way to attach those acetate pieces, because if you add liquid glue or tape runner behind them, sometimes it does show through. And so then I decided that I wanted an outline around the white cardstock, just to repeat that same black outline that's around the word 6. And so I'm just using my black Sharpie pen, and I'm just freehand drawing a border around the edge of the white cardstock. So as I said before, I'm going to mat my layout using that yellow spotty paper, and I really love that paper, and I know that I'm going to want to use it on more layouts. So I'm going to gut it just so that the part that's going to be behind the white cardstock isn't being wasted. So I want to create a little cluster there on the bottom left hand corner of the photo, and so I've pulled out a couple of the die cuts from the kit and I'm going to staple those together using my tiny attacher, and then I'm going to add some foam tape underneath the heart just to bring it up to the same height as the photo, because the photo has foam tape underneath it as well. But then I decided that I actually want to raise it up a little bit more, a bit higher than the photo. And so I'm also adding some craft foam or fun foam underneath it as well, just to lift it up that little bit more and give it lots of dimension. So then I felt like the layout was a little bit top heavy. There was a lot going on in the top half of the layout, and so I felt like it needed something down the bottom just to balance it out. And so I grabbed these 2 strips of paper that I had that were already cut, and one of them is actually the branding strip off one of the solid colour papers from the kit. And I decided to add those there underneath the title, which then creates a third point of interest on the layout as well, which creates a visual triangle. So your eye goes from the photo up to the banner at the top of the page and then down to the bottom of the page where I'm adding these strips. And so I'm just fussy cutting that scallop branding strip, and then once I get those 2 strips of paper stuck down, I'm just going to run it through my sewing machine, which will just add some more texture to the page. So there you can see that I've done that. So then I'm just going to add a couple more die cuts down here in the bottom right hand corner of the page. And once again, I'm going to add some foam tape underneath that black die cut because I always love lots of dimension on my layouts. And then the last thing I'm going to do is add some of these little puffy star stickers, and they are super cute. And then I'll call the layout done. So thank you so much for joining me today. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll have some close-ups at the end, and I'll catch you soon.